long-standing Earl Haig tradition to exploit the students' talent at every big event. Thank you, Ms. Meady, and students of the Earl Haig Symphonics Journey. The valedictorian's job is important. Hers is a student voice who says goodbye. The valedictorian needs to embody the best qualities of the class of 2022. And that's significant. It's a significant challenge because the class of 22 has many fine qualities. So I will explain the stringent process by which Chevin Jung got herself into this position, and then I'll explain why she's a great fit. First, she needed to throw her hat into the ring. Not everyone wants to perform in front of 1,500 people. At Earl Haig, the selection is based on merit. You need to write. You need to write a two-part mini essay. You need 3 watertight references from 3 different teachers, and teachers keep score on everything: attendance, punctuality, and attitude. You need to have a top-notch academic average, of course, is taken at Earl Haig, and you need to be a leader outside the classroom. Then applicants are shortlisted by a committee and then pitted against other exemplary students in what becomes a sort of Hunger Games. In Chevin's case, she had to face 2 queens and a king. She had to compete with the brilliant Yasmin Sadi, the queen of EHAC, and the student activity clubs and council reps. For parents who may not be fully immersed in the culture of Earl Haig, the school loves its clubs. Yasmin is a smart and driven young woman, and she can write and think. Wow. Then Chevin had to get by William Pham, the community rep on SAC, a brilliant reporter on Carp Anatomy, a model UN god, and a man so charming he can look good dressed up as a Presto card on Halloween. Amazing young man. Then Chevin needed to get by Julie C., the dance major, Carp Anatomy writer, award-winning scientist, and model UN and Eco Queen. Julie is wickedly bright. So Chevin gets past the queen of clubs in Yasmin, the king of the community in William, and the embodiment of the arts and science in Julie. How? Well, she does so quietly. Her brand driver seems to be figure out all the best ways to perform a task, work hard, and don't let them see you sweat. She's involved in many important clubs at Earl Haig. She's the vice president of the Visual Arts Council. She's an editor. I thought that would get more applause. She was editor at her dazzling yearbook team, and she is the social rep on school council. She makes the community better. When I taught Chevin in the first semester of her grade 12 year, I noticed a pattern. When she needed to write her personal essay to start the term, she approached me during a recess while I was scarfing back an apple, and she asked me a series of questions. At first, I thought she might be mark sharpening, but in fact, she was surgical in her approach, gleaning crucial details and figuring out a formula for success. She earned an A+. Later in the term, she did something similar before her Hamlet presentation. She gathered all the best tips prior to performing the best student soliloquy I've ever seen. If you don't believe me, go on YouTube and search up Chevin Goes Rogue. Fantastic. In talking to staff sponsors who worked with Chevin, Ms. Manny, Ms. Sakavars, and Ms. Katrubis, they all came to the same conclusion. They all used adjectives such as bulletproof, solid, steadfast. In all her classes, clubs, and leadership roles, Chevin is a hardworking, dependable student who creates a cohesive culture with her peers and teachers. Did you know she designed her yearbook cover and won a prestigious award for it, beating out 89 other schools? So after 2.5 years of pandemic uncertainty, 2.5 years of jargon and rhetoric, 2.5 years of our tech overlords getting stronger as our world becomes divided, the graduating class chose a valedictorian who would bring them certainty, honesty, and unity. a steady voice they can trust. Class of 2022, your valedictorian, Chevin Jung.
Thank you for your kind words, Mr. Webster. Ms. Goldenberg, administrators and dignitaries, teachers, parents, and most importantly, the Earl Haig graduating class of 2022. Congratulations on making it to Convocation Hall. I am honored to speak on behalf of such a talented and accomplished class. As a valedictorian, it is my pleasure to take on the responsibility of representing the student body. Now, I am the personification, but I also don't want to seem condescending to my equal peers in trying to impart wisdom. Instead, I'm here to do 3 things. Number 1, reflect on our collective past. Number 2, brag about our achievements. And number 3, stir up maybe some of your sentimental emotions. But before that, you're going to have to forgive me. As an art major, that is how I self-identify, I've been indoctrinated by Ms. Sakavars and Ms. Manny for 4 years now, which means I'm going to have to drop some artistic jargon. Don't worry though, I'll give you the footnotes. So here's how I see our generation in the perspective of a painting. Our story can be told as the background, the middle ground, and the foreground. Have you got the visuals? Now let's paint this imagery in our minds, starting from the background, which captures the relatively carefree times of pre-COVID, where we had better things to worry about than remembering to collect the screen tests every morning. Let me take you back to the first time we gathered as a collective class. It was the grade 9 orientation. A day was set aside to help the Niners settle in. Ironically, after 2 whole weeks of feeling swept up by a current, we were stopped by Elder Elsie and SAC members who strolled around smearing blue and white paint on targeted student victims. Right on our innocent little faces. Now, in retrospect, that did seem a little bit aggressive, but nonetheless, was it a hazing or a battle scar? We became the cool victims of SAC and LC violence. In grade 9, we were nervously adjusting to the massively complex school. But thanks to the Earl Haig timetable app we were presented with, at least we didn't mix up the day 1s and day 2s like some of us still did in grade 12. At this point, I want to transition us from the background into the middle ground. And for us, the middle ground of the painting is the pandemic. And during this artistic period of the middle ground, TDSB decides to give us every semester model they could think of. We even got to taste recess again. A short 15-minute break in the middle of a 4-hour lesson. Alas, we missed having a Wednesday late starts, but perhaps the shift to online classes had its advantages at first, as we got to sleep in a little bit more, waking up just in time to pat down our bed here for 9 a.m. classes. Alas, we can now explain calling Gen Zers and Zoomers. But as Earl Haig students are such a tight community, we fought through the screens to keep our communal atmosphere alive. We came together to help each other succeed once again, this time promoting online events on Instagram, hopping on Discord study calls, and even tutoring one another on FaceTime, always striving to do better. Now, on the topic of social media, I think it's worth noting that for our generation, the pandemic killed the ancient platform, Facebook. We Gen Zers have long ditched Facebook for Instagram, sorry millennials and Gen X's. Now we feel first to head off into our post-secondary pursuits, and second, to get our Instagram opportunity outside of the field of what looks like they're studying at a 3-year-old war zone. But hopefully can find some places around the building, not under construction, for a good set of photos. It doesn't end quite yet when we leave this hall, but for many of us, this will be our last time to exchange thanks, farewells, and words we couldn't muster up the courage to say. I have to warn you, this is our last time together as a collective, and even the last time we will be singing the school song together. But remember, even before the yearbook quote cancellations, our school motto has always been Carte Diem. So let's seize the moment and make as many meaningful human connections as we possibly can in the next hour. Congratulations on all you've achieved in these years. I wish you the best with your pursuits. Thank you.
Thank you, Shepard. Oh, please stay for the school song. She's promised me vocal major quality. As we near the end of commencement, I would like to take a moment to thank those who made the event possible. The office staff, Earl Haig teachers, many of whom are participating behind the scenes today, the TDSB representatives, the school parent council, the Earl Haig Symphonic Strings, and importantly, the 70 Leadership Collective students, the group we lovingly call the LC Army, the students who you may have seen running around organizing the grads and platform party in the lines to arrive at the entrance just before 1. Without all these hands on deck, we'd never have created this joyous ceremony. Parents and guests, on the back of the program, you can find the lyrics to the school song. So now, while we are still together as a group for one last time, let us join in singing the school song. I'd ask you now to please rise and remain standing until the platform party has left the stage.